We've got battles on the horizon. We've got Americans who love this country, who are willing to fight for the greatest country on earth. And don't believe the Democrats' spin that our side is deflated and defeated and not willing to battle. Don't betray President Trump that way by pretending that the wind is out of our sails. We've got big challenges ahead, but you know what? This country is worth fighting for, and it is an honor and it is a joy to come back to work after a very quiet Thanksgiving and enter the arena with you. It's Monday, November the 30th. And many, many thanks to Trish Regan for doing a great job filling in for me for a few days. Had a chance to kind of peek in once in a while and listen to the show. And she is tremendous. And you were supportive, and you were engaged, and you are on fire, as we should be. Saw a great tweet over the weekend. This election is much bigger than President Trump. Honest elections are all we have left. How our election systems were allowed to come so perilously close to a third world level ramshackle is inexcusable. Our government not only failed us miserably, they allowed it to happen. And to me, that's just about right. As the president said, he went from winning pretty easily to losing by just a little. 13,000 votes separate Joe Biden from Donald Trump in the state of Georgia. And perhaps that's the most bitter pill to swallow, because so many Americans are hoping that Georgians stay home and don't vote for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. And we're just not going to let that happen. President Trump has signaled he's going to travel to Georgia to fight for these two Republicans. President Trump has indicated he is going to continue to fight for election integrity. And if you hear people bail on him, you should never forget who they are. If you hear people say there's no chance and it's all over for him, just remember who they are, because they probably weren't on board with President Trump in the first place. This is real simple. If you've been in his corner for 5 years, why would you bail now? And I said that before Thanksgiving break, and I'll say it again. This president is going to fight like he's never fought before, and he's not going anywhere. And he's going to fight for this vaccine like he's done all year. We are so close to bringing this worldwide nightmare to an end. We're almost there. And you know what the progress of these vaccines are a result of? Well, you know the answer to that. The 45th president of the United States. The vaccines are Trump's legacy. Operation Warp Speed is Donald J. Trump. They can try, but they'll never take that from him. They can make every effort in the world to try to tear it down and take it away from him. Nobody doubts that Operation Warp Speed was a Trump product. A guy who has long tried to destroy and dismantle the establishment protocols and regulations and red tape and nonsense that slows down tremendous progress. This is going to be his legacy. Ending coronavirus is going to be the Trump legacy. And we should never, ever, ever forget that, and we won't. So hang tight. Welcome into the battle. We got so much to do today. I always want to start with you at 1-800-655-MIKE, because I'm like Phil Boyce, our boss, always says, it's always good when a talk show host has a show just waiting to get off his chest. I've got so much. I mean, you know, when you're a talk show host on vacation, you practice. Where would I be on this issue? How about that issue? What am I going to do about vaccine? What am I do about the kids who want to gather at Christmas time and the whole world tells me not to gather with my kids at Christmas time from different parts of the country? One of the battles that we're kind of facing. There's big news today. Moderna is applying for the FDA vaccine approval today. This comes after the Pfizer vaccine. There are 3 or 4 other vaccines in the pipeline. You know why it's so quick? You know why we would have never in a million years thought back in March or April that there'd be a vaccine on the table by November? You know why? Because we had a president who loves this country like few presidents I've ever seen. A president who was willing to take on the establishment, kind of like taking on a big grizzly bear with a little, wooden stick, and often inflicting great harm on the snarling grizzly bear. The grizzly bear of the media establishment, academics, Hollywood, the elites, the rhinos, the country club Republicans. He took them all on. And he's going to continue to take them on. You know, some would say he seemed to signal that he knows what an uphill battle he's got when he told Maria Bartiromo that it's hard to get in front of the Supreme Court. Well, it is. He's got an uphill battle. There's no question he's got an uphill battle. He had an uphill battle in 2016. What do you think that was? Okay, so it's a long shot. Life is a long shot. And we're going to win battles. We're going to lose battles. Ultimately, this president pointed out in a great conversation with Maria Bartiromo, somebody who they all used to love until she was willing to give the president a fair shake and a platform. Now they hate her, but so be it. Here's the president with Maria Bartiromo over the weekend talking about Operation Warp Speed and the fact that it was thanks to him and thanks to the Trump administration that we are on the verge of ending this nightmare.
We got hit by a pandemic, but prior to the pandemic, I had the highest numbers in history. And even now, the stock market just hit an all-time high during a pandemic. And what did I do? I came up with vaccines that people didn't think would have for 5 years, and we have them. They're going to be distributed in 2 weeks. I mean, think of what we've done. And nobody's done it like this. And we're doing much better than Europe. By the way, you never hear about Europe. We're doing better than the rest of the world. We're doing better. But we have 2 vaccines. We're coming up with another one. Johnson & Johnson's coming up with one. We'll have 4 or 5 great vaccines 4 or 5 years ahead of schedule. People hardly talk about that. And they'll try and say that Biden came up with the vaccines.
Well, the president is never going to fail to get the accolades he deserves, and he will. There's no way around that. They can pretend that Biden's not going to get credit for. I mean, they'll try. Every American knows that Operation Warp Speed delivered these vaccines 4 or 5 years ahead of schedule. Even a loyal, deeply liberal Democrat governor of a state like New Jersey, a blue state like New Jersey, Phil Murphy, is willing to praise the president and Operation Warp Speed for ending this nightmare.
So do you, Governor, give credit to the Trump administration for where we are on that front?
I do, period. I was on privately with Vice President Pence just before Thanksgiving and said so. We're on calls regularly with the White House. We've got one tomorrow. In addition to Secretary Azar, you've got the likes of Tony Fauci, General Gus Perna, New Jersey's own, who's overseeing the distribution, Stephen Hahn, others. I also give the private sector players a lot of credit, and I give decades of investment in public health a lot of credit. Having said that, we're not in the end zone yet. This is incredibly complex. I'm gratified that at long last, the GSA has allowed both teams to begin to coordinate.
So we got a lot of work to do. There's no question. Let's roll up our sleeves and do it. It's 17 past the hour here in the ReliefFactor.com studios. And the huge battle that we can all be engaged in, because right now the president's legal team is fighting the battles in Georgia and Wisconsin and Nevada and all of these states, Pennsylvania. But Georgia The Kelly Loeffler, David Perdue battle is right in front of us. A lot of you have been asking me, how do we support? How can we help? It's real simple. Go to keepamericaamerica.com. Keep America America Action Fund. That is a group that is fighting for all of us. It's the Keep America America Action Fund. They're doing the hard work that needs to be done in turning out GOP voters in Georgia, keeping the Senate red. I'm supporting their efforts. I need you to support them too. Go to keepamericaamerica.com and support this organization.